Good morning, friends. I, Dr. Jyoti R. Maheshwari, Assistant Professor, Srimati LRT College of Commerce, Akola, welcomes you in this classroom. In BCom second semester, we are studying the subject Principle of Business Management. We have already discussed the controlling function of business management, like meaning, concept, features, definition, elements, and importance of control. Now we will discuss advantages, disadvantages, as well as the techniques of controlling. In business management, controlling is the process of regulating organizational activities so that actual performance conforms to the expected organizational standards and goals. Controlling to determine whether there are any deviation and to measure their significance, to compare actual performance with these performance standards with planning objectives. Let us see one more definition of controlling. According to Robert Mockler, management control is predetermined standards to design information feedback systems. A systematic effort to set control provides an organization with the system to cope with uncertainties, to detect irregularities, to identify opportunities, to decentralize the authority, and to minimize costs. The controlling function helps the management in various ways. The managers can measure actual performance and guide towards the achievements of predetermined goals only when the controlling system is up to date and effective. It helps the organization in achieving its objectives effectively and efficiently. Achieving organization goals. When the plans are prepared in the organization, they are directed towards achievement of organizational goal, and the controlling function ensure that all activities in the organization take place according to plan, and if there is any deviation, the necessary action is taken to bring back the activities on the path of planning. Second, increase in goodwill. Quality control, a technique of control, improve the quality of the products. Third, motivates employees. In control, the employees' performance are evaluated regularly. Who show good performance is rewarded. This motivates the employees to work hard, and it also improve their morale and they gives good performance. Fourth, minimize deviation. Control minimizes the deviation between planned performance and actual performance. Number 5, judging accuracy of standards. An accurate control system revise standards from time to time to match them with the environmental changes. 6. Efficient use of resources. Control guides the organization and keeps it on the right track. Each activity is performed according to predetermined standards. 7. Facilitate coordination in action. Control helps to maintain equilibrium between means and ends. Controlling makes sure that proper direction is taken and that the various factors are maintained properly. 8. Control increases efficiency. Efficiency is the relation between return and cost. If there is a high return at low cost, then there is efficiency, and if low return, then there is non-efficiency. Control leads to high return and low cost, therefore it increases efficiency. Though control process is useful, still control process has some limitations. First, lack of satisfactory standards. Control system lose its effectiveness when standards of performance cannot be defined in quantitative terms, and it is very difficult to set quantitative standards for human behavior, efficiency level, job satisfaction, employees' moral, etc. Second, uncontrollable factors. Some of the factors cannot be controlled by the management. A manager can control internal factors like manpower, material, machine, etc. But it is impossible to control the external factors like government policies, technical changes, competition, etc. Next, deficiencies in corrective action. Management come across several problems when they try to take necessary corrective action to avoid the repetition of mistakes. Next, opposition from subordinates. Employees look at controlling as a restriction on their freedom. So, the employees resist the exercise of control. Then, the control loses its effectiveness. Next, expensive process. Control is a costly affair as it involves a lot of expenditure, time, and effort. To install an expensive control system, organizations have to spend large amount. Let us study techniques of controlling. For achieving the desired objectives and requiring the efficiency of the industrial planning, the various techniques of control are used. This can be classified in two categories. First, traditional techniques and other modern techniques. Traditional control techniques. The techniques which are used usually for managerial controlling are called traditional control techniques. First, budgetary control. The preparation of budget is one of the control techniques followed by the management. A budget is a numerical statement expressing the plan, policies, and goals of an organization for a defined period in future. Budgetary control is a system wherein budget for different activities are used for controlling and planning purpose in an organization. Control through costing. Costing is concerned with cost determination and indicate what is the approximate cost of process or product under existing conditions. Control through costing involves the control over cost in the light of certain predetermined cost, usually known as standard cost. The cost accounting procedure and method different from one industry to another according to the nature of industry. They are used for effective cost control and cost reduction. Third, production control. Standard production set on the basis of demand of production in the market and the profitable production ratio, and then the actual production is compared with the standard production, and if the actual production seems to be less than the standard, the reason are found out and the remedial measures are taken for removal of discrepancies. Next, quality control. In the modern age of competition and large scale production, only that manufacturer can survive who supplies better quality goods and render good service to the customer. Next, audit. Audit is an excellent technique of control. Audit is dynamic process which includes examination of various arrangements, systems, performance and action of concerned institution. The term audit is classified in two categories. First, internal audit and other external audit. Modern techniques. First, break-even analysis. Break-even analysis is modern technique of control available to management. In this technique, total cost is divided into fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost will never change according to the changes in the volume of production. It is always constant, but variable cost varies according to the volume of production. A break-even chart is prepared for this analysis. This chart represents graphically the relationship between sales and expenses under different assumed conditions. The point at which sales is equal to the total cost is known as break-even point, and to the point there is neither a profit nor a loss. The production above this point yield the profit. Second, financial control. Capital is the central point of all the activities. Financial control generally used for the generation of capital. To control the unnecessary uses of excess capital in the enterprise is the aim of financial control technique. Third, program evaluation and review technique. Technique PERT was used in the First World War by Henry Giant for the first time. PERT is a technique of project management useful in the basic managerial functions of planning, scheduling, and control. The technique of PERT helps greatly in completing the various jobs in schedule. PERT is a technique used for the problem that occur once or relatively a few times, and that has definite starting point and finishing point. The PERT technique is related with the time required for the completion of the project. PERT is used as a planning tool and as a controlling tool. PERT diagram is an effective unit of controlling, from which the complicated path can be searched out in advance. Next, critical path method. PERT was developed in a response to the need of USA Navy in 1957 in connection with Polar's weapons system, and CPM was developed by engineers at the DuPont Company, USA. There is a basic difference between PERT and CPM, even though both utilize the same principle. The basic difference is that PERT focus on time only and CPM focus on cost and time. CPM is also used as control technique to know time spent in completing a project. CPM helps the management to closely watch the entire performance of the project to find deviation. CPM technique is used generally for when the management is familiar with the event for completion of the project. Thank you. See you in next lecture.